you are really impressing me here. And I think a lot of people watching this are probably in awe and shock that one person can do all these different things. And I want to talk about one more area that is probably going to really knock the socks off everybody, and that is your. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Workergenics Mastermind. I'm host Harley Green, the founder of Workergenics, and we are going to be talking with an ultimate executive assistant today. Diana Reyes is one of our amazing ultimate executive assistants. She has a wide variety of experience and incredible educational background, and she's here today to share how she helps her clients achieve more, be more productive, and ultimately have a better business. Welcome, Diana. How are you?
Thank you, Harley. I'm doing great. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, so Diana, can you maybe tell us about who you are, where you live, and your background?
Well, I hold both a bachelor's and master's degree, and I currently reside in Lapu-Lapu City, and that's in Cebu, in Philippines. Oh,
Awesome. And
yeah.
so, what got you into being a virtual professional and having this online job?
Well, the main reason why I ventured out from becoming a healthcare professional to become a virtual assistant is that when the pandemic happened. So I was pretty much concerned with the health of my grandparents and also with my parents. So I looked for a way wherein I can stay healthy and not to get, you know, that certain virus out from the family. So that's why the main reason. And also I can earn more rather than having a regular job that where my passion was before. So I was like, okay, I'll try this one out, and it worked for years now. So I think I'll grow my freckles here out.
That's awesome. So, this job kind of created opportunities and solved some problems for you. You wanted to be close to the family, you didn't want to risk their health. And it sounds like it also gives you a better financial situation than even working as a healthcare professional. Is that true?
I wanted to highlight that being a virtual professional, it or being a virtual assistant is pretty much you can earn much more rather than having like a regular job or like having the job that you really want when you were just like a kid here in our country. So that's the main reason, financial things that can really help out. So that's why I stayed and wanted to become what I am right now. So I studied skills that I wasn't able to know before. I looked certificates like getting those things out, for example, for the real estate one, because I wanted to look into how I can provide customers or get customers out just for a phone call. So things like that.
Awesome. So you took a lot of initiative then to expand your knowledge. You know, you had that healthcare professional background in your professional training and formal education, yet that wasn't enough for doing the online job, right? And so you
Yes.
went and got extra certifications. You learned new skills so that you can add value to clients that you work for now.
That is correct. Also, my previous job was to like being a faculty in good university. And also I've tried to become a project coordinator in a good company as well. Things like that can also be part of being a healthcare professional. You can share your knowledge out when you're doing lectures, when you're doing talks to public, when I did my project coordinator things. So it's still the same. You communicate with people, but in the long run, your ultimate goal is for them to really understand you. So that's a thing that we need as well for virtual assistants, right? Communication. So things that I can apply when I became a virtual professional, I applied that certain skill of communication, and that way it helped me out at first. And I realized this is not enough because I as well want to clients to be happy. So I looked for ways in order to improve my skill. So that's the main reason why I wanted to learn more every day.
Awesome. And
Yeah.
I think we'll kind of demonstrate that as we talk about some of the things that you do. And it's a wide variety of tasks that you help clients with. It's not just, typical administrative executive assistant type tasks. Like you do things from marketing, social media, technology, websites, phone voice integration. It's really impressive. And so I wanted to just touch on a few of those things today and kind of hear your stories of how you've helped clients in these different areas. Starting out with like social media. Maybe you can tell us like some of the things that you've helped your clients with or are currently doing regarding their social media presence.
Okay. So regarding with social media, from my previous experience in a company before, is that there's social media, since it's just a startup company, they really need guidance. So when you do things, you need some procedures out of it, right? So I was able to generate some procedures that really worked. So it really helped out with internal sales, and it also increased up their followers and also got a lot of leads or possible clients for for their certain business. So it was a great help for the company, and was pretty much impressed with the way that I look into the progress from the numbers that I see before when I came in and then currently. So yeah.
So tell us more about like the types of tools or things that you include in this procedure that you made that led to them getting additional followers. What are some of like the actual actions and things that you help them execute in addition to making it into a procedure so that they saw the great results of having increased followers and engagement online?
Okay. So they already have that system or this certain tool that they're currently using. It's called Metrical. It's a great tool to use, right? And you can place all of your social media platforms in just one thing and then do the postings for a specific day and then you can schedule it out. What was lacking was with the procedures, right? What the procedure really helped out because you need every post is unique, right? So you don't post everything the same, or you don't post the same thing every day. So you need something new, something or a good way that can really increase that engagement that you want. So that was a good start wherein we started off looking into creating social media postings up to the posting procedure. And then we ended up with, because we also have that newsletter. So we have that assembling newsletter part. And all of those procedures needs to be followed and you need to get a hang of it. Or you need to do it daily or weekly up until you do it monthly. And then by the time you realize that I don't need those procedures anymore, but you really need those procedures. So if, for example, you have someone that you would want to join, you can just give it to them without, actually doing like a virtual training, like hand it off to them and it's all ready. Like all of the files are there, all of the needed details are there, all of the needed links are there. It's just that they can perform it by just reading the procedures. So things like that can really also help out. So
You bring
that's
up a
what's
good point there.
yeah.
I wanted to touch on that. So, part of what you've done in helping this business is set things up. You've done the actual execution. You're creating content, you're posting it, you're doing it automatically and leveraging technology so it's more efficient. And then you're getting the
Hmm.
procedure set up so that as that business grows and is successful because of the work you're doing, now you can move on to other things and they can bring on another virtual professional to execute that daily while you as that ultimate executive assistant can move on to other high level things, creating new systems, new procedures, and streamlining things. So that's an important thing to note for everybody is like this is not a one size fits all. Once you're doing this you have the same person doing it forever. Like these ultimate executive assistants are really high level thinkers who are going to help you grow your business, get it streamlined, and make it so you can continue to achieve new things. So let's talk a little bit more about technology tools that you've mastered and help use for this. Making content on social media is a challenge for everybody.
Hmm.
What kind of tools or process do you use to help your clients generate engaging content that has seen the results that you talked about of increasing engagement, increasing their followers?
Right. We have here what we call as Monday.com. We love using it. it really helps out with, delegating tasks, getting tasks done with a due date on it. So what we did is that we integrated like a daily and a monthly. Also, we have that weekly tasks wherein you can see what you need to do and you assign it to a specific person if you delegate it to someone. So it really helps. And I also shared the Monday.com to my previous client before, that startup company. It also helped them because I started off giving them tasks, all of them. So they were like, okay, so what we need to do? So I was like, okay, so I guided them first on how Monday.com works and what are the things that they need to look into, specifically with the due date. We also have that status wherein you can update it. And things like that really did help out with that startup business. I was pretty much impressed before that I ended with that client. But anyway, I see the progress with them using the Monday.com and really helped out. But with this current client that I have, it's awesome. Like we're doing it on top of everything, getting things on top and finishing out tasks much more. It's much more efficient than you totally think of. Like, because you don't just chat things out or email things out. You have like a guide on what to do and what to do next. And yeah, so Monday.com is basically the thing that we are using to help out getting things done, especially
Okay,
with
so
the
that really
social media
helps with
posting.
like
Yeah.
keeping track of when to do what and who's doing what and the progress. What about like AI tools? Do you use AI tools to help with generating the actual content that you're posting on social media? And what does that look like for you?
Yes, we have that chat GPT, but most often if we do social media postings, we have that graphics, right? We generate graphics out from chat GPT, which is a great help because you just have to give them a prompt, give ChatGPT a prompt, and then it will generate you a good graphic. But sometimes you need to train it so that way it can give you a better output. So things that we also practice, we have a section in ChatGPT that helps you with communication and a section that can also help you out in my part in social media, in marketing side. So it was a great help for setting up or making that procedures, the creating, the posting, and the newsletter one. So it was a great help in making those procedures as well, not just with the prompts to use for the captions, for the descriptions, for the postings. So it's a great tool. So Monday.com and ChatGPT comes hand in hand.
Very nice. So we talked about social media and kind of how you help your clients make it streamlined, proceduralized, grow their followers, increase their engagement. So that oftentimes is something that marketing companies do for people, and they can charge a lot of money for that. And you're able to do that in addition to other things. And I want to talk about some of those other things now. So, you've got that, you've mastered the social media. So another thing that I know you help clients with is like kind of managing finances and maybe updating payment methods, especially with like real estate investors who might have like multifamily apartment buildings or mobile home parks, RV parks, where they've got lots of payments coming in, and it can get kind of out of control. And tell me an example of like how you helped with like managing those payments and what that looked like.
Okay. So first thing, I learned the tool. And upon learning that tool, I figured what specific action or data you need to generate in order to get what you need to get. So, for example, accounts payable, accounts receivable, things like that. For that previous client, they've been using ResNexus, and it's quite hard at first if you just see the actual thing and you don't have like an idea what to do. But because I trained myself in order to learn that tool specifically, I figured on how to use it and how to incorporate their payments from their customers, from their residents in that specific site. And the challenge there, because they have multiple sites, they have a lot of tenants. So for me, it was crazy in a sense, because you have like multiple people, but you don't know where, what they're paying for, what specific part. they're at. What I did was that I informed them that maybe we could incorporate things wherein um, we place like a specific site or site one, site two, site three. That way can also, it can also help you know where that money is really actually coming from. So that was integrated, and they like my idea. So it really helped out with the business. So actually pat
So
on
what did
myself
things
for
look like
that.
when you finished? It sounds like it was really challenging. It's very impressive that you figured a new tool out and got the client organized with their payments. What was the result for them? Like after you got this set up, how did that benefit the client?
It benefit profit wise. They see where the actual money is coming. The downside with that, because of that integration, they figured, oh, this part has something fishy on it. And then that's the time they realize that there's some things that they need to check. So it was really useful, detecting some details out of it.
So it sounds like by you fixing the payment system, getting things organized, they were actually able to find some problems, maybe with like local park managers or people not paying rent the right way. And that's a big deal. So you help them identify potential fraud or missed payments because of the organization that you brought to them. That's incredible.
Yeah. I also wanted to add is that I don't really rely on that specific tool or any tool that we have. So I also have a spreadsheet wherein I can also work and check what I need to check. So I also shared that document to them, and in that way, they also see what I see. And so that really did actually added out that help. So, yeah.
Wow. So you did extra work and kind of had a cross check where you had like a manual data entry that you managed in a spreadsheet. And then you cross
Yes.
reference that with the data that you were getting from the payment software. And then we're able to use that to demonstrate to your client, hey, like there's some problems here. We need to get this fixed.
Yes. Because in ResNexus, you can do the thing that we do in our spreadsheet, like we add a comment, right? So that's the main reason why I did that extra work.
Wow. So, okay. So in addition to doing great social media, generating content, doing financial integrations, improving systems, I think you also help with like customer service and phone calls and phone dialing sale, either like outbound or inbound sales systems. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Outbound and inbound sales. Yeah. From my previous experience with my first client before is that I've also worked with a real estate one. What we did is to, get calls from residents, and then I ventured out to a current client that we deal with leads and clients or things that we call as, affiliates or like that. But what was great because of that communication skill that I had before when I became a virtual assistant, it really helped out in regards with doing calls. And also, when you do calls, you really need a script, right? So thank you, ChatGPT. And also with great help from if you have the transparency with your client, you ask them what needs to be done, and also with the help of monday.com you can track on what also needs to be in that specific script. So you need to prepare each call. You don't call them right away by just like, hey, someone gave like a missed call, I'll give them a call right away. No, you need to prepare yourself. You need to know who that person is calling. You need to check their background. You need to find certain details that can help out with that certain call if you're going to do a follow up call. So, yeah, it's a great experience wherein I'm not just doing the marketing side, but also doing calls and getting things done for the company.
You are really impressing me here. And I think a lot of people watching this are probably in awe and shock that some one person can do all these different things. And I want to talk about one more area that is probably going to really knock the socks off everybody, and that is your project management and leadership ability. not only have you helped your clients with all these other areas as like the ultimate executive assistant, you also lead other people in different projects and create systems, monitor their progress. Maybe you can talk about one of those projects that you lead and kind of, what the project is, what it looks like, how you measure success, and how you keep everybody on track and performing their roles.
Right. For that project, we call that lead generation. Basically, we look into three main projects with that lead generation now. So I actually need more hands of it to get that system or funnel moving. Because lead generation, you need something to be moving, not just stagnant, right? So what I did is I did a procedure. The procedure was already done by the client. I improved it. In that way, we were able to make more projects out of it. First, it started off with, reaching out to clients or coaches like affiliates. And then we ventured out to real estate investors. And then we now focused on digital marketing side. So those three main funnels that we have, or three projects that we have, all of those have procedures out of it. But when I make procedures, we don't just stop there, right? There should be that thing that we call as feedbacking and monitoring because you're handling people doing those lead generation. That way, or you question yourself, how can I check progress? How can I see if there are things that we need to look into further in this specific section or this specific project? So we generated that tracking tool that can also help out for to see progress of the certain VP that's doing the job. And also after all of that, because they've been doing that daily task, and then by week, what I do is that I generate that one out, and also I place like a KPI sheet wherein I check the progress, the ultimate progress of that certain week, and then it goes by month and then by quarter. So that way I can check if it's really working or not, or what needs to be improved in certain areas for that certain project. So yeah.
So you not only made procedures, it sounds like they had kind of a rough outline of what they wanted done. You made it into a step-by-step procedure that other team members could follow and execute. And then you're tracking their progress. So you're taking all the data that they do on a daily basis, and then you synthesize that up into high level like KPIs that you can then present to your client. So you get an executive level view of what the lead gen is looking like and how successful it is. Tell me about like just the managing people aspect. I mean, that's something that a lot of people struggle with. And you've been very successful in managing people, especially on people that come and go on doing lead gen for you. What kind of skills or you know techniques do you employ to help keep everybody motivated and like doing a good job and training them?
Now, to start off, you really need to build rapport with that individual or that certain VP that you're working with. And upon building rapport, that's the time they also share what they think of with that certain procedure or that certain project. And by that, one must be open minded as well, like me. If ever they have some suggestions from a specific task, what I do is like, okay, I'll look into it, but I don't take it negatively. You do not, because it's really them actually doing the job, right? It's just you monitoring the progress. And that way you see that, okay, if it's worth to check on, or if it's worth on changing certain section, then I'll do so. Constant communication in regards with having someone on your team is really important. Also, to keep your lines open all the time, not just saying just during your shift, but also out of shift, because we have that certain VP that's doing overtime as well, and you don't want them to be left behind, right? I need to be there to check on if ever they're actually doing what needs to be done, and if ever there's some struggles, you can assist them. So for me, it was quite a challenge at first. Actually, every day is a challenge. I take it in a positive, positive way. But yes, handling people, it isn't an easy peasy thing to do. So What I just do is that you just have to be transparent. They need to be transparent to you because you were able to build that rapport. What I also do love with Monday.com that can also help out with that is that they can also check with their tasks on what needs to be done. And I've also generated a task there that is by month, wherein they place their daily updates. They took screenshots of their tracking sheet, things like that. So, yeah.
Wow. Most people would not be able to do that. Managing people is not something everybody enjoys to do, especially a team. So the fact that you've been able to teach that skill to yourself and learn on the fly, even though every day is a unique challenge, is really incredible. Well, Diana, thank you so much for sharing all the different things you do. There's even more that we could probably touch on and have an hour long
Yes.
discussion, but thank you for sharing these examples that how you help out your clients and help them be successful. If you're watching this and you are wanting to find out more about what an ultimate executive assistant like Diana is and how they might fit in your business, send us a message or schedule a discovery call. We can talk about your unique business and your specific needs and find your own ultimate executive assistant like Diana to help you grow and scale your business in the most cost effective way. Thank you again, Diana. It's nice
Thank
been
you,
talking to
Harley.
you.